It's time for Best Ball Breakfast. We're about a month out from the NFL draft. We need to sharpen our draft skills. Joining me for the second draft today is none other than the BBM3 champ himself, Pat Kerrane. Will be fun to draft alongside of him. Let's get to it. Best Ball Breakfast with Pete Overzet.
My slow draft rooms are so much different than my streamed drafts.
Does no one realize Underdog's half-point PPR? Idiots!
Damn, bro. You know ball. Hope you guys packed your bags.
I packed my bags. No, I mean, I literally packed my bags. She kicked me.
Dude, Star Method's legit. Only way to max out every contest in the plus EV way.
Week 17, you still gotta get there, bro.
We have a finite sample. We only have so much samples. Is it negative EV to stream all your drafts?
We just don't know.
GMs all around. Poor Brady, down sad, down bad. Wishing UD was allowed in my state. I feel you, Brady. Feel free to live vicariously through us today. KZ, I will be on audio for this one, he says. Please service me as well. I will always service the audio listeners. Of course, streaming here on YouTube. We do have the In a Vacuum podcast feed, have been posting audios of these live streams, as well as some audio from the Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel as well. That is, of course, your one-stop shop for all of your audio listening needs. GM Dan. Yes, we do have Pat Kerrane joining us today. John says, Pat with the 7 a.m. draft. It is 7 a.m. West Coast time right now. Pat will be joining for the second draft. So that'll put him at about 8 a.m. West Coast time. We got to get him ready for the forthcoming Best Ball Breakfast streams that we'll have rolling on a regular basis once Best Ball Mania drafts. We have B-Spurf in the chat really kind of wrestling with how to allocate his time this morning. He says, I have so much I should be doing. Guess I'll watch a draft stream. Hey, you got your priorities straight. Love to hear it. GMs Bindles, AJ, Chris, Kyle, Cody, what is up? GM Achievers. We got, what is that? A trophy? A trophy with a smiling face from Dale? I do not know if I've ever seen this emoji before in the chat. Good morning to all of you. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm feeling refreshed. It was about, a week ago on this show, we asked Underdog for the biggest board, which was $100 3 max tournament. They spun that up for us. That's already 40% full. So thank you guys for getting in that tournament and not making me look like an idiot requesting a tournament that wouldn't fill quickly. It seems like that is well on its way to filling here. And I believe I need to pour some coffee and then we can start to get down to business here. Pretty solid coffee pour, if I do say so myself. Good speed, good consistency, not too much of a splash. Wheels up. Pat Kerrane this early. Big money wakes up that early. Yeah, he's hungry, man. He's out here writing in-depth dynasty quarterback profiles. The money hasn't fully gone to his head yet. All right. We did hop in a draft. I let those of you in the Discord know that I was hopping in. If you guys are YouTube members, you can get tipped off. So you can try to get into these stream drafts. All you have to do, become a YouTube member, the Best Ball Value Hounds tier. You hop in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, and then you sync your YouTube and your Discord accounts. It'll unlock that channel, and then I drop alerts in there. If you go to the pinned messages, you can react to a message that will get you alerts anytime I hop into a draft. And of course, in addition to that perk with your YouTube membership, you also get access to the Best Ball After Dark streams. I do those on Saturday nights. I talked with John Daigle on Saturday, had a fun conversation with him. If you guys missed the news on Twitter, he has joined ETR full-time, going to be a jack of all trades with them. And I got to talk to him kind of the behind the scenes machinations, how that came about, some of his content plans, things he's excited to do over there. We also talked a little bit about his ultra marathon training and ultra training he's been doing. So yeah, take advantage of those perks as YouTube members. Great way to support the channel and get some extra content as well. We are off to the races in this draft. I have the 1-3, and man, I haven't had a ton of influencer 101s, but as I told you guys, I've been getting a ton of influencer top fives. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it. but I've been picking at the top of the board in a lot of these. CeeDee Lamb goes 101 in this one. I personally do not have the stones to take CeeDee Lamb over Christian McCaffrey, nor do I have the stones to take Bijan Robinson over him. This feels like a gift. Yes, I will take Christian McCaffrey here at 1-3. Bijan over Christian McCaffrey. That's too much. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for Arthur Smith to be gone. I'm excited for Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris to be there. I'm very excited for Kirk Cousins. I'm not that excited. I'm not so excited that I'm taking Bijan Robinson over Christian McCaffrey. But, you know, I keep wanting to say I get it. I don't get it. But Bijan is a much funner click than he was last year at this time. But CMC still the king there. And I will scoop that up at 1-3. What a blessing to start this beautiful day. Thank you, Tyler. Enjoyed After Dark with Daigle. We got Ashton currently sitting in online training for work with the stream on my phone. Life is good. There you go. Is that to circumvent? Is YouTube blocked on your work server? Yeah. What was it last year at this time? Was it we had the service? Man, I feel what did we call it? Where I would try to throw your boss off the scent with a distraction in case they caught you watching a best ball stream while on the clock. That was a service I would provide to people. Yes, David Montgomery was our code word. Yes, that's where you guys got me to do all kinds of accents that I was very bad at. Lions legend, David Montgomery. It's crazy how the trajectory that these players, you know, I think was it BBM2 that I didn't select a single David Montgomery share? And then last year, Najee was the punching bag. And now these running backs come back into our lives because the price changes. You know, David Montgomery and Najee Harris in the 8th round, not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right. You know what? I've been wanting to do this just to vary up my builds. I believe I have not taken any Josh Allen. I've had a hard time pulling the trigger on it. I don't want to take Barkley, DJ Moore, looking at ADP. Let's kind of funnel myself to a different build. Let's mix it up. Let's live a little on this Monday morning. I'm going to start Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey. Ooh, no wide receivers through 2 rounds. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, and I'll check my exposures here while we're doing it. I do not believe I've taken any Josh Allen yet. I took one. Looks like I have 1 Josh Allen share. Okay, 1 Josh Allen share. But yeah, haven't done it too much. Have done a lot more of the like CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow. Done a decent amount of Lamar. But yeah, so we'll grab a Josh Allen share up here. He's kind of a fun one too. If you're trying to galaxy brain a rookie, you got to feel like they're going to bring someone in to replace that Gabe Davis role. They really need a downfield stretcher. So maybe we can try to triangulate a rookie pass catching stack for Josh Allen later. Wow. Is Brandon Ayuk long gone? Wow, Brandon Ayuk went 2-6. Look at this. Brandon Ayuk goes 2-6. I guess I will take Deebo Samuel. Fine. But again, let the record show this is not capitulation on the great Deebo Samuel versus Brandon Ayuk wars, which apparently continue to rage on. I think I saw some chatter of that in the Ship Chasing Discord the other day. Davis Mattek, of course, stoking the flames there. Davis Mott shortery season. I have snuck in multiple Davis impressions in the new Deposit Kingdom videos. So you are getting your money's worth of David impressions. Oh, this reminds me of 2 things that I just mentioned colliding into one. 1, Deposit Kingdom videos, and 2, thinking through best possible fits for rookie wide receiver landing spots. So this week, I've been making weekly videos on the Deposit Kingdom channel. I know some of you guys are already well aware of this, but just to reiterate, this is the live stream channel, but I'm also going to be making lots of pre-produced videos on the Deposit Kingdom channel. Have a couple new ones already out this year. Of course, the Scroll the F Down and looking at when ADP stops mattering video. Got a lot of good feedback from that. Last week, on Thursday, we had the video looking at 10 big board tips. I polled a lot of the top drafters and streamers, asked them, hey, what's your favorite strategy nugget in the big board? And then I kind of curated those into a top 10 list. I have that video pinned in the chat here, also in the description down below. Make sure you check that out. We still have a decent bit of big board drafting to do. I think we're at like 67% full last I checked. So check out that video. But my video this week, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to dream up the perfect fit landing spots for all of these top wide receivers and then try to predict what their ADP would end up in Best Ball Mania if they land in that perfect situation. So I would love to get some of your guys' ideas. I'm going to work on this video today and tomorrow to have out later this week. So when this show is over, if you want to leave a comment with what some of your favorite fits would be, and like the criteria I'm working with is somewhere within the realm of being realistic. Like you can push the laws of realism, but you can't say like Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chiefs. You know, the Chiefs aren't going to have enough ammo to trade up that early. So it needs to be vaguely realistic, but the best possible fit. And then it should be a fun thought exercise to go through that and predict it. But I would love to get some of your guys' help on which rookie wide receiver team landing spot fits you guys would love to see. So our team so far, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen, Deebo Samuel, loading up on the Niners here. That was one of the tips from the Best Ball Strategy video. It was actually Sacrilegious's tip, loading up on team level correlation. Obviously don't have the NFL schedule yet, but making big bets on teams, essentially getting as few things right as possible. So I have like building out these 3, 4, 5 player stacks from a team that exist even outside of just quarterback to wide receivers. Basically saying, hey, the Niners are going to be good this year. Hopefully that one's not too controversial of a take, but I think it works even best when you're doing it with undervalued offenses as well. We're about to pick in the 4th round here. Let's see. Derrick Henry comes off the board. Speak of the devil for these team level correlations. I have not taken much James Cook. Let's do James Cook. I think that would be fun. We have Josh Allen, and we'll make another bet on the Bills. So we start Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, and James Cook, and then Deebo Samuel. So this is a much different build than I've done in the majority of my big board drafts, but that's what makes it fun. See, and I disagree with this. People say you're going to hate building this team out. You know, it's actually, you're going to hate building this team out after the NFL draft. This team is fun to build out now because there are so many viable rookies in rounds 10 through like 14 and 15. And normally I'm selecting running backs in that range, but it's actually fun to select the rookies there right now. I do agree after the NFL draft, that is very much going to change because we're going to have big shifts. Some of these guys are going to go to disastrous landing spots, and a lot of that perceived value is going to evaporate. And the guys who land the nut landing spots on the Chiefs, on the Bills, are going to skyrocket up. Keenan Allen at 50 to Princessa here. That's a pretty nice value. Let's see here. We have Amari Cooper at the top. I don't mind Amari. I think I should probably swerve Andrews, even though I like him. I take Andrews a lot. Christian Kirk is fine, but yeah, I'll do Amari here, knowing we are going to be loading up with a ton of rookies in this draft. So Josh Allen, CMC, James Cook, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper. But yeah, it's the difference between drafting now, and this was Jacob Sanderson's tip. His tip in there, and it's something I've been doing, is take the detours in, say, rounds 3 through 6 for an elite onesie, whether that's a QB, a tight end, or a running back that you think has top 6, top 7 upside, because there's so much value at wide receiver late. in the wide receiver, what the whole reason it's a tricky thing, right, is because the wide receivers are often the better pick in rounds 1 through 5. And it just so happens pre-draft, the wide receivers are the better pick rounds 10 through 15 and on as well. But you can't take wide receivers in every single one of those rounds. Specifically, if you use your first 5 picks all on wide receivers, you essentially only have a couple more spots in the chamber to allocate your draft capital accordingly to the position. So if you pull back a little bit in the early rounds, devote it to other positions, then you can take advantage of that deep wide receiver class. What do we have here? A detour question. Do you and Davis still do that read or meditate half hour? Yeah, we had that bet. Was that last year or the year before? Rob said that started me on that path and continue. That's awesome. We don't have that bet going, but I have been on a very good roll lately, thanks to the P.O. Box Book Club. I just finished the second book for March. So we have read a bunch of books for that. And I meditate most days. I kind of stack it up when I'm in the sauna. That's generally when I will meditate. So yeah, I've built in some of those habits without the bet, but the bet was a fun way to kickstart that. That reminds me, I'm going to be getting together with Davis, I believe tomorrow. We're going to record a take cast. He wanted to check in on some of those habits. We did a show at the beginning of the year about habit building, some of the things we were wanting to do. Now we're 3 months into the 2024 year. So we're going to check in on those. So you can keep an eye out. I should have the video on my channel. Davis will, of course, have the audio on the take cast. Is Pat still sleeping? I believe so at 7:15 a.m. I do not have a Truman Show style cam on his San Diego mansion to know if he is in fact sleeping right now, but that is my assumption. This is what I do, little spoiler alert, think I'm going to do for the best wide receiver fit. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chargers is a pretty fun one. But man, I don't know how much higher he can go in ADP. Some of these guys, when I was thinking through how much higher can they actually go, it's hard to know. All right, let's see here. We are on the clock at 6:09. Nice. We have Kenneth Walker slipped a little past ADP. Let's see here. Wide receivers don't love this range. Godwin is probably fine, though, on this build. I'm going to grab Godwin. I'll see what comes back here. I was debating scooping up the value on Kenneth Walker there, but I do think Godwin is kind of the last bit of this tier with Hopkins. And then we're down into redacted territory, this really weird territory with Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton. I don't mind Josh Downs specifically when stacked with Richardson, and then we get into the fun rookies there. Look at this. Davis, of all people, getting worried about my wide receiver too. I drafted the other wide receiver 2 version of DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper. Let's see here. I want to keep making you guys uncomfortable. You guys are so uncomfortable with me not drafting wide receivers. Here you go. Joe Mixon, running back 3. Embrace it. Here's the team through 7 rounds. A rare non-wide receiver heavy draft. Josh Allen at quarterback. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Joe Mixon. Wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, and Chris Godwin. No tight ends yet. I could have been tempted with a Dalton Kincaid if Dalton Kincaid has a reasonable price tag. Dalton Kincaid going ahead of George Kittle, man. I can't do this. Dalton Kincaid goes 65. George Kittle in this draft goes 67. Pitts 68. Ingram 69. And then Brock Bowers now slides to 79. Brock Bowers, I think I'll do him in the video as well because I think there's some landing spots that are fairly obvious that are going to get people much more excited about him. Like if Brock Bowers' quarterback is Justin Herbert or it is Aaron Rodgers, people are going to talk themselves into him very quickly. But it is really interesting to see kind of the FUD surrounding him. I forget where I saw a quote. I don't know if it was from a GM or a scout or some source or whatever, but they were like, yeah, a team, you got to really have conviction, to burn a top pick on a tight end like that. And it's like, it's funny how not only have us fantasy drafters gotten burned by chasing up these unicorn tight ends, but so have NFL franchises, where it's like no one wants to do the Kyle Pitts thing. They've already touched that stove and it was a little too hot for them. But man, Brock Bowers, he does seem to be getting lost in the shuffle of this wide receiver depth at the position, because he still is one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in a long, long time. But for some reason, there isn't the enthusiasm for him as there are for some of these other guys. And like, if we look at his ADP, like in this draft, his ADP was 81 and he goes 79. So yeah, he's been going around there, but I want to say he's been a slight faller from where he opened in drafts. And I get that it's, you're pricing in a lot of the upside there, but if he lands one of those good spots, like I just mentioned, the Chargers, the Jets, like him having a season like Sam Laporta did, obviously Sam Laporta was at a much different price, but Sam Laporta is now a late 3rd round pick. Like there's no reason Brock Bowers in that spot wouldn't be able to return 3rd or 4th round value as a rookie. Not firing off big boards in the sauna. Do not bring your phone in the sauna, Davis. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on the Takecast. You got to grow up. What is up with you guys in the sauna? The other day, I tell you what, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this tweet. I had never been so pissed off as to when I saw that Peter Jennings is playing fucking dice in the sauna. I mean, the sauna is a sanctuary, guys. Have I already done a rant about this on the show? Forgive me if I have. I get pissed off whenever I think about it. It's okay to go in the sauna and be with your own thoughts for like 10 fucking minutes. This guy's playing dice in there. I would have been the one complaining to the gym staff if I was in there while Pete and his buddies are fucking clackety clacking. Grow up, Pete. You got 2 kids now, buddy. Grow the fuck up. All right, I'm about to be on the clock at 8:10. We are going to start grabbing some wide receivers here. I believe that would be prudent. I have, Cortland Sutton comes off the board. I have way more Xavier Worthy than I do AD Mitchell. Let's grab AD Mitchell here. I do still prefer, I think, Worthy straight up to Mitchell. Is that going to be another one of our beefs? Davis, is that our generation's Ayuk versus Debo? I know you're in on both, but I know you prefer AD Mitchell to Xavier. But yeah, I'm at like 50% Worthy, so we'll grab a little 80 here instead. What if someone played pickleball in the sauna? That person would become my mortal enemy. Oh, I am shaming dice in the sauna. That's not the kind. That is right up there with all the other things that used to tilt me at the public saunas. The guys that clip their toenails in the sauna, the guys that are trying to do like advanced calisthenics in the sauna. I once saw a guy eat a cookie in the sauna. I'm putting dice on that Mount Rushmore of things that should not be done in the sauna. All right, what should I do? Should I take Xavier Worthy, or should I be done at quarterback and take Brock Purdy? I think we need to keep taking wide receivers. Let's take Xavier Worthy. One Xavier Worthy in every draft. That's my big board draft strategy. Why didn't anyone ask me for that video? Never leave a draft without Xavier Worthy. Grow up, Copper. I expect this out of Tyler. I do not expect this out of you. Copper's getting the Tyler treatment where I pull up a comment on screen, but I do not read it to protect the audio listeners. Casey is driving around right now, and he does not know what I'm talking about because he said he was an audio listener today. Steam sauna? You're talking about a steam sauna? No, I'm talking about a traditional sauna. I believe Pete was in a traditional sauna. Some people do the infrared. Not my thing. I'm not going to sauna type shame, though. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm only going to shame people who are playing fucking Baccarat in the sauna instead of just closing their eyes and thinking about their own mortality. You guys need to grow up. All right, here's the team through 9 rounds. You guys were so worried about my wide receivers. We have Josh Allen at quarterback. What we do need to be worried about is my tight ends, because I do not like punting tight end, and I have now punted tight end. That's what I'm worried about. Quarterback Josh Allen, 3 running backs, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Joe Mixon. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, A.D. Mitchell, and Xavier Worthy. Wide receivers are fine. We are going to be fine at wide receiver. Tight end is going to be an issue. It is going to be a problem. I say that right after Manta Ray here at the turn now has David Njoku and Dallas Goedert. Yeah, I guess that's a silver lining. We always got Dawson Knox in the back pocket. Better value, Andrews in the 5th or Asana to yourself? Asana to myself. Not even close. I mean, I like Mark Andrews. Don't get me wrong, but it's not even close. Brandon says, do you think little birds fly into Pat's room and open the curtains and gently pull back the covers as the sun comes up over the ocean? I think that sounds about right. I think he has an automated thing where these palm fronds start kind of swaying back and forth. So he feels kind of the gentle breeze of his manservants kicking off his day. Then he gets a latte. And you know how you'll see sometimes they'll do like the latte art in the foam? His latte comes with like variations of BBM3 or $2 million written in the foam. He sends it back if he can't tell what it says in the foam art. All right, we're about to pick on the clock, and I have never in my life wished for a tight end to fall to me more. God damn it. You couldn't let me have Dalton Schultz. The last viable tight end. You had to take Dalton Schultz. God damn it, dude. What are we doing? You couldn't let me have Dalton Schultz. That is sick. That is sick shit. What are we doing, man? You couldn't just give me one gift? One gift? You know what? I'm taking Tyler Lockett. Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, and Tyler Lockett. I had to take Tyler Lockett to pay for my JSN sins. Will you guys allow me to wipe away all of my JSN sins from last year with one click of Tyler Lockett at pick 118? I think it's a good trade-off. If you guys all agree, I think we can just wipe the slate clean, pretend like none of that JSN stuff ever happened. What do you think? Tyler Lockett as penance for being a JSN sloppy all last year? I think it's a good trade-off. I think it's a fair trade-off. All right, we're back on the clock here. All right, I think, let's see. Should we keep ripping in? You guys were worried about my wide receivers. My wide receivers are fine. I'll let you guys, yeah, let's do Keon Coleman. We'll do Keon Coleman. This is the exact reason why you don't need to be worried about wide receivers in this, because you can get A.D. Mitchell, you can get Xavier Worthy, you can get Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson still on the board. Now we have a very barbelled team. We got the veterans, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, and Tyler Lockett. And then we got the young guns, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman. These guys are going to pass the baton to each other at about week 10. Amari Cooper is going to say, hey, I can't deal with this Deshaun Watson guy anymore. He fucking sucks. Here's the baton, Keon Coleman. You score points for this fantasy team. I'm going to watch Shogun now and not contribute fantasy points to this team anymore. What did I just do? This comment's tilting me because I know Chris is right. This team would fuck with Bowers over Joe Mixon. I thought about doing it too. You know what? This team, even with Dalton Schultz, like Dalton Schultz on this team would have done wonders for it. I can't believe the things I'm about to do at tight end. Like, what am I? I'm just to let the audio listeners know, we're about to head into the 11th round. If you think back to Best Ball Mania drafting last year, back in the olden days of summer of 2023, this was a nice spot to be drafting tight ends. There was all kinds of stuff you could do here. Now, TJ Hawkinson, don't even know if he has a leg. Luke Musgrave, the tight end 2 on Green Bay. Pat Freiermuth, who knows what's going on with him these days? Cade Otton, just completely overdrafted. Michael Mayer, okay, I'll probably click him. Ja'Tavion Sanders, probably going to do nothing year one. Jawan Johnson has Derek Carr as his quarterback. Jonnu Smith, our generation's Miami tight end who doesn't get utilized. Hunter Henry, because he just got an extension. Isaiah Likely, who's like either a 0 or a league winner. Like, you get what I'm saying. I've put myself in a hard spot. Wake up, Musgrave. Or Spurious News. It's Tucker Kraft season. I do think this is a team where we take TJ Hawkinson, because we're going to need to bake in some kind of late season upside at the position. TJ Hawkinson, ADP, he's now slid. Look at all you. Everyone took tight ends earlier. Now they're letting TJ Hawkinson slide to pick 142. You made me select TJ Hawkinson. I don't even know if the guy's alive right now. All right. Let's get focused again here. We are going to need to think through our plan at QB2, although we got some flexibility here, right? We got Deshaun Watson with Amari. I can't. Baker Mayfield with Godwin. You got Geno with Lockett. I think we can probably sit on quarterback with Josh Allen right now. I probably need to take another tight end here. Are we okay with Pat Freiermuth? Or do we just take Michael Mayer? Michael Mayer seems like the best click to me in this range. We could also just be done with running back. We could take a Braylon Allen and be done with running back. That would be another option. But if we do some kind of tight end triumvirate like Mayer, Hawkinson, and Knox, I think that's cromulent. The chat going crazy for Mayer. Yeah, I like Mayer too. Let's do it. We're living a little in this range. Sorry, Musgrave, Freiermuth, and Otton. I guess the other thing we could have done Otton and tried to set up the double stack with Baker, but whatever. All right. So after an extreme panic at tight end, we have now addressed the position. We have now selected TJ Hawkinson and Michael Mayer. We don't take part-time tight ends anymore. We just took 2 part-time tight ends. We got TJ Hawkinson playing part of the season. Is Austin Hooper still on the Raiders? Austin Hooper seems like a guy who will find himself on the Raiders again. Don't act like this is a Davis branded draft. Davis is an 80 Mitchell over Worthy guy. And I didn't take Braylon Allen, so just walk it back. Chipsy can't let this Joe Mixon thing go. Chipsy has made me drafting Joe Mixon his entire personality trait this morning. Find another slant, Chipsy. I liked it better when you were talking about masturbating in the sauna. Find another slant. Hooper is on the Pats. That's perfect. This is how I wanted to find out that news. The team extends Hunter Henry, but you got to lock up Austin Hooper as a little insurance just in case. All right, I need more coffee. I need more coffee. Oh, also, before I forget, a reminder. So we got guys like Nick and Phil who help out around the channel to help me produce, grab timestamps, things for clips, etc. I'm looking to add someone else to the production team. It is a paid gig. If you guys are interested in that, one of the main things I am looking for is someone specifically for this Best Ball Breakfast show, because with the Nick and Phil's new schedule, they aren't able to do it. You don't need to necessarily be able to do it exactly live, but it is helpful to be able to do to watch the show and take the notes within an hour or two after. If you're regularly watching Best Ball Breakfast live and would like to get paid to do it, there is work involved, but it is a paid gig. You can slide into my DMs, preferably on Discord, or you can shoot me an email. Contact@PeterOverzet will work. Let me know if you would be into that. All right, let's see here at quarterback. You know what? I think I just can't bring myself to select Deshaun Watson, but let's stack up Chris Godwin with Baker. I do not have any Baker at all. He slides a round and a half past ADP here. I think he's a good pair with Allen, and we, of course, have him stacked up with Chris Godwin here. So we now have a 2-3-7-2 build. Might be time to look at another running back. What do we think? Eli Mitchell, right? You know what? I don't mind Roschon in this range. I don't really feel like handcucking Eli Mitchell and CMC. I still like Roschon a decent bit, or Ray Davis. Let's do Roschon. Roschon at pick 171 feels nice. Playoff Rondo, I know he's going to start on pup. Hawk will start on pup. Wind back the tape, buddy. Wind back. We made about 19 jokes about getting 4 games from Hawkinson. We talked through the entire thing, Playoff Rondo. Catch up, guys. I need you guys sharp. If I'm going to draft sharp, I need the chat sharp. Please, please, I'm begging you. GM John. I will not select Zach Ertz. I just absolutely not. I'd rather take Austin Hooper. Prepared to get mad then. Reach, I teach, Rondo. Imagine having the username Playoff Rondo in March 25th, 2024. What was it? What year was it? Was it 2009 when Rondo was a rookie on that Celtics teams with all the veterans? Poor Rajon Rondo. No longer relevant. His lasting legacy is a guy who comes into Best Ball live streams late and has discussions that we already had 30 minutes ago. That's your legacy, Rajon Rondo. Two, 4-7-2, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Joe Mixon, Roschon Johnson, wide receivers, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Tyler Lockett, and Keon Coleman. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson, and Michael Mayer / Meyer, whatever you want me to call him. Man. There are so many opinions on who my third tight end should be. I think I've gotten about 19 different suggestions about who should be My third tight end. I have heard probably 14 different tight end names. I've heard Juwan Johnson. I've heard Davis Allen. I've heard Zach Ertz. I've heard Dawson Knox. I've heard Mike Gesicki. Any other suggestions on who should be my third tight end? I think I even heard someone say this needs to be a 4 tight end team, which isn't the worst possible idea. Now we're talking. Paulino coming in with the Galaxy brain stacking. Juwan for the NFC South. If you don't know what Paulino means, watch the big board strategy tip video, tip number 10, all about Galaxy braining the divisional stacks. No, Copper's going to take Juwan. He's going to just get the biggest smirk on his face. He's on the clock in 98 drafts right now. He's got 14 Zamboni slow drafts going on. And he's about to auto Juwan Johnson at the top of the queue. Oh, he takes Rashad Bateman. There we go. We got Aaron Kenny using his member super chat to say Noah Fant. There's another name. Did Fant already go? Yeah, Fant already went. I'll take Juwan Johnson here. Juwan Johnson, so I don't have to take Juwan Johnson was a beast down the stretch last year. People forget. People do forget. Batemaning in the sauna and scene. Congratulations. That is a callback. We have 2 more picks. We're at a 2-4-7-3. I think we could use what? 1 more running back, at least 1 more wide receiver, and then we probably we got some luxury picks. Should we start scrolling the F down? I think I'm going to just keep taking my guy, Jalen McMillan. Broke my heart the other night on ship chasing when Gretsch said he wasn't in on Jalen McMillan. I'm just going to have to hope that he's being too hard on his Huskies. You know, in the same way where, homers, they're sometimes overly tough because they just, they have these guys under a microscope. I think I just got to keep clicking Jalen McMillan. But Davis is going to be 0 for 2 because Davis wanted, first he wanted Malachi Corley to be our ship-chasing Skyy Moore clip this year. No way that's happening. Then he called Jalen McMillan, which I actually kind of like that suggestion. And then I floated it to Gretsch on our ship-chasing stream on Thursday, and he shot that down. So back to the drawing board, trying to figure out which wide receiver big industrial complex ship chasing is going to tear down this year with a single clip. Jalen McMillan remains safe. Davis, Davis, I will bet you every fucking cent you own that I can find it on the Swolecast when you said the exact words, I know who your Skyy Moore is going to be this year, and you said Malachi Corley. I will bet you everything you own, down to the underwear you are wearing, that you said Malachi Corley. Do you want to make this bet, Davis? Do you want to make this bet? Yeah, look at this guy. This is just classic internet behavior. Oh, now it doesn't mean anything because I said it on the Swolecast. No. Someone has to hold you accountable, Davis. Someone has to hold you accountable for the boomeranging of your takes. Davis has like a Trump level ability these days to own a W and wiggle out of a bad take. It's unreal. It's unreal. Davis has done many January 6th equivalents in the fantasy take space, and he keeps getting away with it. There are entire websites dedicated to tracking everything Davis says and debunking them with research and science and facts. And he's still on the ballot. Davis Mattek for president 2024. He can't keep getting away with this. Three more picks. No Pat Kerrane in the hopper. I did tell him 11. Breaking news. Breaking news. The Steelers are signing Quez Watkins. We go on location to our Eagles sideline reporter, Chipsy Clark. Chipsy, you're our noted Quez Watkins fanboy. What do you have to say for the Steelers and their new wide receiver, Quez Watkins? How incredible is it going to be when Quez Watkins starts averaging more targets per game than George Pickens? You know, right now, Arthur Smith is in a lab finding ways to scheme Quez Watkins touches. Audric Estime at this price seems fine. I don't think I've selected him much at all. Didn't he just have like a decent pro day or ran a faster time at his pro day than the combine, shaved some time off? We'll take him as a running back 5. All right, over to Chipsy, who we did just get live on the field. Well, Pete, here we have a bad player going to a bad team. Back to you. Quez makes MVS look elite. For some reason, it's always in my head. I think it was 2 years ago, right? When we were doing playoff drafts, gauntlet drafts. And, you know, we were all just like selecting Quez Watkins as our generation's Jawan Jennings. And Chipsy would have a freak out anytime anyone selected Quez Watkins. He's undraftable. But then our generation's Quez Watkins, Jawan Jennings ended up being the guy you needed. Jamari Thrash, Johnny Wilson. Let's do Jamari Thrash. More rookies. 2593. What position should I take for my final pick? We have Josh Allen and Baker at quarterback. We have Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Joe Mixon, Roshan Johnson, Audric Estime at running back. Wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Tyler Lockett, Keon Coleman, Jalen McMillan, and Jamari Thrash at wide receiver. 3 tight ends, TJ Hawkinson, Michael Mayer. Let's shift it up, the pronunciation, just for fun. And Jawan Johnson. Do I just take Dawson Knox? Do we just go 4 tight ends and stack up Dawson Knox? Is Laube still there? No, not in one of my rooms. I mean, Laube probably went in the 13th. Come on, guys. He's gone. He's long gone. Where did Dylan Laube go? Dylan Laube went in the 15th round. Forgive me for going full Mike Leone, but we have jumped the shark. And look, I love this guy. I had to offer a mea culpa on Dylan Laube. All right? I was making fun of him, saying that he couldn't lift weights. He had an awesome combine. But the recent things circulating on Dylan were that he was turning heads at his pro day. And as now one of the foremost Dylan Laube fans, I went to watch the videos. There were 4 clips in the tweet from his, University of New Hampshire pro day. It was the most vanilla, unimpressive stuff I've ever seen. He was just out there jogging, catching a few balls. I'm sorry, guys. I want to make him our king. He is our king. But 1, we can't take him in the 15th round. Fine, maybe we can. But 2, I'm just saying that the pro day performance, it didn't make my jaw drop on the floor. That's all I'm saying. Jamari Thrash is an incredible name. It's the second sickest fucking name I've ever seen for a wide receiver. Jamari Thrash. Thrashing through the defense. Look who's just staring at me at the top of the queue. Just begging me to quad tight end this. Playoff Rondo told me I only have 2 tight ends so far. And you guys know how I love a good stack. You know that it's hard for me to turn down a stack. Dawson Knox, baby. God, it's so fun to bet against Dalton Kincaid because Dalton Kincaid is our generation's Kyle Pitts. This is what's going to happen to Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid will be fantasy relevant in 4 years, as the prophecy foretold us with Kyle Pitts. But Dalton Kincaid is not happening this year because Dawson Knox is still on the roster, and I just got him at pick 238. The team is complete. My 19th big board entry. Only 19, Pete? Grow up. Maybe you'd be at 50 if you started drafting these in the sauna, bro. Maybe start ripping these in the sauna. Quit jacking off and start drafting big board teams in the sauna, bro. All right. Let's recap this team. This is what's so, you just can't win because if I draft the same team I've always drafted on here, then you're like, Pete, you've drafted this team 19 times. And then I go away from wide receiver once, and it's like, oh my God, you're going to hate this team. I select Joe Mixon once, 8 picks past ADP, and Chipsy's over here having a seizure because of it. This is the team. Let's all zoom out. Let's all relax, and let's just assess this team on the quality of its merits, okay? Let's forget what happened over the past 51 minutes. Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield at quarterback. 5 running backs. Christian McCaffrey. Ever heard of him? James Cook. Joe Mixon, withhold your comments until the end. Roshan Johnson and Audric Estime. I can't wait. Has Silva even done a tweet about Audric? Isn't he a Notre Dame guy? That's one of the traditions of the offseason is Silva getting overly hyped on some Notre Dame guy. I don't even know. Did Silva even go to Notre Dame? He's always obsessed with these Notre Dame guys. I remember all the way back to Tyler Eifert. I think he wrote like a 10,000 word love letter to Tyler Eifert. Anyways, wide receiver Deebo Samuel because Brandon Ayuk was off the board. Amari Cooper because I was down bad at wide receiver. Chris Godwin because I was down really bad. But then it got fun. Then a couple of Longhorns came into my life. A lot of people out there will say you got to choose between A.D. Mitchell or Xavier Worthy in a draft. And I said, why not both? And I selected them. Then I took Tyler Lockett as a peace offering for all of my JSN sins over the years. They're all gone. They've all been forgiven. I went in there just like a bad Catholic. I told the priest, and he said, you are forgiven. Thank you. And then I wrapped it up with 3 more wide receivers, Keon Coleman, Jalen McMillan, and Jamari Thrash, which is the second sickest fucking name I've ever heard for a wide receiver. And then we took 4 tight ends, TJ Hawkinson, who I was just told during the stream had his leg amputated. He's going to be playing on 1 leg this year. It's going to be incredibly inspirational. They're going to do all kinds of puff pieces about how this is one of the greatest stories in NFL history, TJ Hawkinson playing with 1 leg. He is my anchor elite tight end that I got at pick 142. And I was wondering why he was falling in drafts so far, but it is because he had one of his legs amputated. Michael Mayer, my tight end 2. Jawan Johnson, my tight end 3. And then we stacked that bitch up. Dawson Knox, tight end 4. That is the team. You can now comment on this team. Now you can comment on it. I will let the comments roll in while I pour more coffee. Me too, Chipsy. If this team wins it all, I will drive down to Philadelphia. I will go to all of the seediest possible places in the city and say, do you guys know anyone named Chipsy? I will hunt you down and I will dunk on you. I will take my $200,000. I will ask for it in all cash. No, what I'll do is I'll ask for one of those big checks. I'll say, Underdog, send me this big $200,000 check. And in the CC, write Joe Mixon. Then I will go down to Philadelphia. I will look in the casinos, look in the strip clubs. I will look under the bridges until I find where Chipsy spends his time. And then I will take that large cardboard cutout of a $200,000 check and I will break it over your head. Pat Kerrane showed up just for that last part. One sec. Hi there, Pat.
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's good. Just a really normal stream around here. I took no mixing, and people got really mad, and I said I was going to win the tournament and hunt them down and smash my big over their head as a reminder that was a good pick.
All right, I was worried you got sniped, and it was specifically Chipsy's team that you wanted to go after. But you just took Mixon. That's not that bad. When did you take him?
I took him at pick 75. He slid. Yeah,
that
exactly.
Great.
All right, here's the thing. So Davis is begging to come on the stream. This was supposed to be you and me. I'm doing a show with Davis tomorrow. Should we let Davis on this show?
Sure. By the way, to the chat saying I literally just got up. That's true, but remember I am Pacific time. So it is 7:55 here. It's not on the East Coast.
I've tried to explain this all to them. They're having a hard time with the time zones. Davis, I just sent you the link. All right. Come in here. We can draft another big board team once Davis gets in here. All right.
So you already had CMC and Cook?
Yeah, just stop trying. We've moved on, Pat. I spent the past hour defending this team.
Incomplete information here.
It was a hyper fragile team. Everyone just relax, okay? Let me draft a team around here. Davis tends to take over. You're telling me? Why do you think I slow rolled the invite to him?
We've each potted with Davis many times. We're aware, but it's part of the fun.
This actually might be a good idea. Maybe we draft my final biggest board thing here. But how have you been?
I've been good. Yeah, it's been a good weekend. I just I guess it published this morning. I published it now. I'm getting confused by the time zones. I published my second quarterback article this morning.
Nice. I saw that hit the inbox. What is it? JJ McCarthy down to a man named Spencer Rattler.
That's right.
Okay. Davis Mattek has joined us. Blazered and all. Davis.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave for like 3 minutes at some point, but I'll be right back.
You going to a dinner party?
I'm gonna go record a video for television.
Why, David? It's okay not to do this stream. We are going to do a show tomorrow.
Well, I had a call after get canceled, and I'm sitting here drafting anyway. So,
all right, cool.
You got to live the dream.
All right. So, are you taking off right now? I need to know how to structure this show, David.
I'm gonna take off at like 10:03 Central Time, and I'm gonna be back at like 10:07.30.
I'm so annoyed that now we have Central Time in the mix.
Yeah,
we couldn't figure out East Coast time.
Okay. All right. Let's draft a biggest board team here.
Yeah.
I got one more. Have you drafted any of these? Either of you?
No, I'm trying to max the big board for the first time. I've never done it before.
I am too, but I'm not sure I'm gonna get there. I'm at like 87 teams.
I've got like 25 slows going right now.
All right. Snap filled the $100 draft here. The red badge brigade is out. We got the 111.
All right.
The 111. I kind of hate picking at the turn because you have to make a decision on Kerrane, who I don't love.
I take a lot of Kerrane, which I didn't plan on doing. I thought I was going to be out on Kerrane because I thought it was going to be more expensive, but he's pretty well priced.
You don't I have Achane ahead of Kerrane in my ranks.
I have Achane behind Kerrane, but I get a ton of Achane because I have him like 3 picks ahead of ADP still.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You're going to end up with a bag of Achane if you're taking him over Kerrane.
Take him over JT too.
Oh yeah, I take him over JT. I'm basically full fading JT.
I've selected so little.
I mean, it's
JT.
1500. It's like 0.3 Ethereum to max the big board. So I'm really just vibing. I'm just taking guys.
No, my exposures are much more loose than they would be in Best Ball Mania for sure.
I've got 4 guys now over 40% of my teams.
Yeah, I do too. I think I was at yesterday. I checked. I was at 53% Jalen Warren.
God. Some things never change. Death taxes and Pat being massively overweight Jalen Warren. One of these years it will work, bud. One of them.
It worked. Yeah, it was called last year. It worked great. Honestly, yes, he was productive in the regular season, and he scored like 17 points in the final or something. And
yeah, but that was before he had to learn how to speak Arthur Smith.
Well, Arthur Smith, I don't know if you
I was going to say, you could argue that's probably good. Yeah.
It's great.
No, the Arthur Smith thing, it's not as macro as he just wants to run the ball. He wants to deploy the most galaxy brain version of his offense, and using a ton of Jalen Warren makes far too much sense.
No,
for Arthur Smith.
You're saying
benching a first-round pick is his whole thing. He's gonna love benching Najee
because Najee's now like a 6th-round adjusted pick. Now that we've seen him in the NFL,
not in Tomlin's eyes.
You guys need to open your eye further. It's finally Anthony McFarland season. That's where, where it all heads.
Yeah. Or like Darnell Washington jet sweeps at the goal line.
That would be pretty Arthur Smith.
Yeah, vulturing.
Getting Darnell Washington involved is
I think we were too excited about him last year, Darnell Washington, that I think that would actually be too exciting. It's Connor Hayward season, actually.
Yeah.
I actually am worried about Darnell Washington for Freiermuth. I think he'll have some run.
I'm about to do a mega trade in one of the dynasty leagues we are in, Kerrane, where I'm trading away Freiermuth.
Smart. People are back in, and I'm not. I don't know. I think we could next year be like, remember Freiermuth?
I would take Gibbs here.
Well, I think we should take Puka, knowing we're going to like one of the running backs that come back.
That's fine. My ranks have Gibbs ahead of Puka.
I don't mind that. Like I like Gibbs a lot too, but more just I think there's a decent tier break from Puka to Nico.
I'm doing like basically 100% hero RB teams. Like 1 RB round 1 or 2, and then like not taking another guy until like round 8. A lot of Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard RB2 teams.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing a lot of that too, but I'm doing a lot of 0 running back as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I've not, because I've gotten so few late draft slots, so I don't actually have a ton. So yeah, we can do HN here. It sounds like we're all good with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we get a Puka HN. For the audio listeners, we are in the biggest board. This was a tournament Underdog spun up for us last week. Already 40% full. Awesome structure.
Right,
$100 3 max. All right, Davis. $100 3 max. 1,600 total entrants, and then the advancement structure is very nice. 4 out of 12 advance round 1, 2 of 8 round 2, 2 of 8 round 3, which is round 16, and then a 34 seat final. So
that's awesome.
It's an awesome structure.
Yeah. Sometimes with the higher stakes, I mean, this isn't the mastiff obviously, but that was like very, very easy to get through. But then there wasn't that much. I like that this is like, it's a little hard to get through, but it's not crazy hard.
Yeah.
And then what's up top? What's the top price?
$20K.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, it's a really flat 20, 10, 9, 8, 7, 5,100, 4.
Love it.
Yeah. So this will be my 3rd entry into there. I did pop my slow draft cherry. I'm doing one biggest board slow draft. I might write about it or make a video about it, but happy to draft a fast one here. So we are now, I think we are just like exactly a month away. I believe the Thursday night of the NFL draft is April 25th. Today's March 25th. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah. That's right. It is April 25th. Yeah.
So you mentioned Jalen Warren. Who are some of your other big
Drake May? I've got a bag of Drake May.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Even I want to ask Davis when he gets back on, because I was listening to his podcast with Reeves, which was awesome. But even there, they were kind of like lumping May in as a pocket passer, and he's not. He's not like a Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields rushing threat, but his rushing production was actually very similar to Justin Fields in college. Fields then took it to the next level as a pro. I think with May, you're looking at like a Justin Fields who's like a more willing scrambler type of runner.
Right. And isn't it kind of, and I know people will hate hearing this name, but it's kind of what got people excited about Zach Wilson, in that he had a big arm, could throw downfield, and could run a little bit. Where you have that double tool set there. That's I think he's more mobile than Wilson as well. And the other thing compared to Wilson, how Wilson like scrambles around and then like throws back to the line of scrimmage and the ball goes out of bounds. Yeah. May like actually attacks deep. Yeah. He actually creates big plays. Where Wilson sort of in theory seems like he'll create big plays and then never does. Yeah. All right, Davis, you did your work. You just recorded a video in 3 minutes?
Little 90-second same game parlay for Clippers Pacers. Light work, baby.
And that was like, was that scheduled, or that was like breaking news, or they just needed you and you're like, no problem, I got this?
So every day it happens right around 10. Sometimes the producer that I log on with is a little bit early. Sometimes he's a little bit late because he's wrapping up another show, but right around this time frame every day.
Nice.
With the 90-second spot, how much of that time is someone talking in your ear?
The whole time, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy, man.
Got to do what you got to do, man. The people love it.
No, TV is like, it's just wild. There's just someone in your ear. You're like, yeah,
it is actually
cool. I don't need to like think thoughts or anything.
It is actually crazy how often you are trying to hear something while actually using your voice. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Hang on, something just hit me. So I put out the 10 big board tips video. Both of you guys have a tip in that video. Davis's tip was 0 RB in this contest, and you just told us that you're doing anchor RB in all of these. Is this a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing?
I mean, it's just the way my rankings shake out at that 1-2 turn where I have Gibbs ahead of Puka, so I do get a lot of those teams, but it's either hero or zero, to the point that I would say 85% of the time I have one running back through 6 rounds. Or zero, 1 or 0.
Okay. All right, we're about to pick at the 3-4 turn. We've started Devon Achane and Puka Nacua. Looking at ADP, you're looking at Laporta, Hurts, ETN. Looking at Pat's ranks, we got Jacobs, Hurts. Jacobs does fall to 311.
I take Devonta here.
What about Cup for the correlation?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, fine.
I think we do that because we know the room we're in. Plus, this guy's got 2 running backs, so we're tempting. If we want Jacobs, we should push him.
That's a good call. Push Jacobs. And I do like in this.
What does Josh Jacobs do for this team? Really?
Scores his fantasy points, hopefully.
He fills a running back spot for a big part of the year.
Chase Brown will score as many points as Josh Jacobs.
Dude, they are in love with Josh Jacobs. They committed a lot. I hate the guaranteed touches stuff usually, but it like the 402, like it's kind of nice.
The selling point on Jacobs here too is also the price. Like he is pretty much never going to be cheaper than this, and especially as we get closer to the season.
He's going to go in the 2nd round in August, probably.
All right, just some FFPC boomers logging on to draft.
I know. I hate talking Davis into a running back. I believe this may be the very first time.
You were gone too, Davis. This is a different structure. This is a much smaller tournament that is much easier to advance out of. So we can.
So the better the structure is, the more you just take shitty players. I don't.
No, I don't necessarily haven't done a ton of the like Cup Nacua pairings, but this is the exact kind of structure where I'd rather just have super big team bets, where 1/3 of the teams advance out of round 1.
Well, I mean, I guess having more steady running back 2 points helps for that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with the whole thing with the 0 RB, and especially if you're loading up on a ton of the rookies, I mean, you'll be waiting until week 16 for Chase Brown to crack the starting lineup, you might not make it there if you select him in this format.
Oh, we got our first bad take of the draft from the chat. We got Chipsy saying that Cooper Kupp is washed with like little to no evidence.
He also said, I don't know contracts, which is Chipsy, I think, might just be irritated because Pete screamed at him right before I got on.
Well, Chipsy has, he's traumatized from me saying I'm going to hunt him down in Philly and smash a giant check over his head.
But to defend myself on the contracts, first of all, I mean, obviously everything, he cannot move on from him this year. They wouldn't. But even next year, they only currently save $2 million.
The idea that they would just immediately cut this running back who they just signed the contract to is like really sending me. They can get out of it before the start of the season.
Like, I don't know if Chipsy's aware of this is a season long league for this year. So I think maybe you don't understand contracts there. He's gonna be on the team. Second, they only save $2 million by releasing him next year, and he gets a $6 million roster bonus the 5th day of the league year in 2025. So if they like want to bench him at the end of the season, it's like he needs to be horrible for that to happen. Plus, they also just cut Aaron Jones. I don't know if you're aware of that contract.
Bench him for
changing.
who? A guy that like they had to use this insanely archaic rule to retain, like this AJ Dillon. I don't know if you guys looked into this at all. Probably not, Pat, since you don't know contracts. But they used this like crazy rule to re-sign AJ Dillon for like less than his.
Really?
I saw Tom
He was a
Pelissero
free
tweeting
agent.
about it. He was like only kind of a free agent. Go look it up. I'm gonna get it wrong. But it was like it ended up being like 1 year, $4 million, which is like an actual nothing. And then it's what, Emmanuel Wilson and Patrick Taylor.
I think it's even less than that. It looks like 2.7 guaranteed. Yeah, 2.7 million fully guaranteed.
Yeah. So that's who Josh Jacobs' backup is. A guy who like actively tanked their team last year, who's getting paid no money.
He doesn't catch passes as well. Like the least threatening guy out there.
We got some real work for the wide receiver room, though.
Do we?
I mean, I would. I actually would have taken Keenan there to set up Caleb, but not that taking Keenan Allen feels that good. Then we really would have had an old wide receiver room.
Yeah, Keenan in the first draft I did, I think fell to 52.
Wow.
Which seemed like a pretty nice price.
I don't think the Packers are going to take Trey Benson. I would be surprised to see them spend a day 2 pick on a running back.
They already blew their load at running back.
Yeah, and I think, I've actually grown pretty fond of Benson, but you have to be thinking about. I mean, Reeves was underlining this on your pod, Davis, but like the NFL just made a pretty loud statement about what they think about this draft class.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking like Josh Jacobs, guy that got a lot of money for a running back, is now in trouble because of this, potential second round pick they're going to spend on Benson. It's certainly possible, but I would not be betting on it.
Yeah, I like Reeves' angle that this is going to be the worst running back draft class since the Bishop Sankey year. I think he's right.
Yeah, I do.
By draft capital spent, for sure.
Yes, yeah.
But I think in the same way, rookies who aren't, great make wide receivers make an impact. Your A.T. Perrys, your Tyquan Thorns, like those rookie running backs, they are going to make a difference.
Oh
in the playoffs, and they're going to be cheaper than ever.
Yeah. And I think taking these guys generally is okay because you're like hoping you're basically like hoping you're making a similar bet to like the Kendre Miller of last year that pays off. It's like it's a lot of Kendre Miller type bets in this class.
Well, you're just needing the one guy who the starter gets a training camp injury and the backup stinks, right? I mean that's just really it. Yeah.
I've seen like multiple people in the chat talking about AJ Dillon. I don't know where this fear of AJ Dillon is coming from. He barely made it back to the team. Like there was nowhere else for him to go. He was completely washed. He is like as good of a thing as you could hope for to have behind you on a depth chart, short of Alexander Madison behind Zamir White. Like there's no worry.
Especially heading into the draft. Like, man.
Yeah.
Like he's
Brian
been there.
Thomas Jr.
Yes,
I like Brian Thomas.
We almost
Let's
have
do
to.
So our team here through 5 rounds, we're about to pick in the 6th. We have Achane and Jacobs at running back, Puka, Cup, and Brian Thomas Jr.
Something to be mindful of is to our stacking stuff. Because I don't love taking Stafford, honestly. Even with the 2 guys, it's like, what does Matt Stafford do for any fantasy team? It's the craziest thing. Like, Puka and Cup will both have like 27 fantasy points, and you'll look at Matt Stafford on DraftKings, and he doesn't even have the flame. It's like 18.6 points.
Doesn't even.
What
That's
what
so
is your
funny.
guys after we make this pick? I want to hear what your guys' ideal landing spot would be for Brian Thomas Jr. But let's make this pick here. Marquise Brown and Calvin
Kyle
Ridley
Pitts.
come off the board. You're taking Pitts over Kittle
Without even thinking.
without even thinking?
I would take Hopkins here just to get the receiver or Godwin.
No, I have 38% Kyle Pitts in the big board right now.
I mean, I'm happy to get a high
Okay.
stakes share of
Let's do it.
Pitts. Yeah, we can have some fun there. But where would you like to see Brian Thomas go? Assuming he's probably going to go within picks like 15 to 25 in the draft.
You know, that's the issue, is where he is mocked to go. And a lot of the teams where he's mocked to go are not teams you're that excited about, like New Orleans, Indianapolis. Jacob is very, very adamant that Brian Thomas Jr. should be learning Indianapolis Colts, buddy. He thinks it's like a lock.
That would be. We talk ourselves into it a little bit because Richardson's an okay deep thrower, but the volume just is not going to be there.
Yeah.
I would say Jacksonville is pretty interesting. They're at 17.
Jacksonville would be good.
Even you think they would do it after bringing in Gabe?
I mean, they should.
Gabe
Yeah.
Davis, it's very useful to treat him as a guy who is a 0. Like, he's going to have 46 receptions.
No, I'm just putting myself in the mind of this organization being like, all right, we got our deep threat in free agency. Are we going to spend, the 17th overall pick on Brian Thomas? Is it
But they wanted Ridley back,
Yeah.
and they
That's
used
true.
him as a deep threat. So I don't know. I mean, and they currently have Zay Jones as their other outside wide receiver, who's like, I guess you use him on some more shallow stuff, but
If you
dream
pick a
would
wide
be-
receiver, at 17, you use that guy. The
Yes.
other guys then become
Right.
complimentary.
but Pete's saying would they? And maybe they wouldn't, but
Well,
they should.
I don't. It's hard to say.
The dream would be the Bills like trading up to get Brian Thomas. That's the dream because he fits perfect there as an outside.
I have
Yeah.
very bad news for all of the Bills are going to draft a wide receiver. We like people. Keon Coleman is a Buffalo Bill. I mean, it just feels way too perfect.
That seems so unfortunately true.
It's brutal for everyone involved because it's also going to mean Keon Coleman's going to end up being like a 6th round pick in Best Ball Mania and useless.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andy in the chat, just gifted 10 YouTube memberships. Appreciate that, Andy. Enjoy. It looks like we got Spurious News. Who else grabbed some new memberships? Very nice of you, Andy. Did you pay with those with Blast? Is that you're rich in Blast right now, Andy?
Yes. The answer is yes.
There's some exchange that allows you to convert Blast into YouTube memberships.
Yeah,
Is
I heard you
Keon,
can do that on Sushi Swap now.
So you think, Davis, you think Keon Coleman is going to be a 1st round pick?
I think what happens is some team ends up trading up for one of the 2 Texas guys, so Worthy or Mitchell, and I don't know. I just feel it's like preordained. Like Keon Coleman is gonna be a Bill. He was. That's all I got really. Is it just feels like that's how I'm reading the smoke signals.
The Cowboys also, I mean, they should grab someone at 24.
Yes.
Yeah. Jerry is only taking a Big 12 wide receiver though. You gotta know your scouting report. Jerry only drafts guys that he can watch on TV from Dallas Fort Worth. So if they don't get the games there, they're not taking him.
Okay.
The
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Is Texas in the Big 12 still?
Yes. So
Okay.
the two Texas guys are definitely both in play there.
Yeah. I mean, A.D. Mitchell seems like a guy Jerry would like.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. I was telling these guys, the video I'm going to make this week on the Deposit Kingdom channel is dream wide receiver landing spots and then picking or predicting what their ADP would be if they go to
I
those.
like it.
And the Cowboys is definitely for one of these deep threat guys. I think a super fun one for like you would see the ADP jump pretty good on any of those. We are on the clock. If we are worried about quarterback stuff, I mean, Kyler, pretty good range here. Some backdoor stacking options. We also have Pat's Love at running back.
I always take Pollard here, but I'm good with Warren. I'm also good with Kyler. I don't ever really take Watson here.
Yeah, I would take Warren.
Let's do Kyler first.
That's fine.
What's Kyler? What's the point of Kyler?
Greg
The
Dortch in
point,
the 18th, buddy.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, are you full? Because I mean, I like Kyler here a lot. I think then to Davis's point earlier, were like the kind of the stacking options with a team like this. And I've heard you say too, like not being enamored with stacking Kyle Pitts with Cousins. I mean, Kyler just gives us access to it.
I'm not, but I would.
We also, I mean, if you want to put
we lost Warren. Look at that.
we lost Warren and Pollard.
It's
Nightmare fuel.
I mean, no
well,
one
at least
says
we haven't
we
unstacked
lost
Kyler.
Pollard.
We nailed,
Get
nailed
relax.
that.
You want James Conner? Get him stacked up.
Yeah, I honestly do.
I would actually take Chase Brown here, but I'll let you guys. Do
No, we
whatever.
should go with. The whole point was that we could get some correlation with Kyler. Let's take the correlated running back.
We can do Conner. The Cardinals version of Najee Harris.
You're not wrong.
Why don't you like Kyler for this team, Pat?
Because we have Stafford stack set up. I'm not with Davis on we don't take Stafford when we have a double stack. We do take Stafford. We also have Cousins set up as a stack. And then you can tack on like a Jaden Daniels if you want to get some more rushing upside or Drake May. So if we had, to me, the number one wide receiver in Arizona is going to be Marvin Harrison. So if we don't have him.
Oh, I meant to say there are also Galaxy Brain scenarios where the Cardinals end up getting a crazy offer for 4, so some team could take McCarthy and they end up not being in the Marvin Harrison Jr. business and end up being in the Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. business, depending on what the offers are. I mean, that's
that
like
rumor's been getting a ton of steam.
Well, if they end up as the Brian Thomas Jr. team, then I mean this is genius. So
right.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get to.
But that'd be pretty sweet. Then I would like it a lot more.
I mean, that's probably like a sub 1% outcome, but you never know.
But we have an elite tight end who's not Trey McBride. So I don't know.
Unique. How many Pitts Kyler Murray teams are in the biggest board? It's like our famous. Like our famous. We were the only.
Probably not many.
We were the only team in the main event with Derrick Henry and Justin Jefferson the year they both went nuts, and it didn't end up mattering.
Let's see. Davis is going to be completely right here because most people let Kyle Pitts fall on the other side of the board. Kyler's on this side of the board. So if you're a slave to ADP, you're not ending up with much Pitts and Kyler. So we have just combinatorially won the big board.
I like that.
That's really the name of the game, right?
That's right.
Combinatorially winning the big board is really it's from the same tree as scroll the F down. You're attempting to accomplish the same things.
Need that meme of the guy at the club like shouting into the girl's ear, like my combinatorial Skolansky bucks in the biggest board.
My Sims showed that I had the most unique teams in the entire contest. I had this moment drafting a big board team the other day where a guy got drafted who I'd never heard of, and I thought, like, is this guy ruining the draft for everyone? Did this guy get tilted halfway through and just like totally waste his team? You guys, Bub Means was an 18th round pick, and I was like, is he LARPing? But I guess that's a real guy.
So
that was
Bub
my
Means.
joke from the thanks for watching the Scroll the F Down video, Davis. Bub Means was literally a punchline joke in that video. And now he's getting memed into being actually selected. It's the Patrick Laird arc all over again with Bub.
What's Bub like?
I don't know.
What position does he play?
Wide receiver. But he played safety in high school and converted. And now, no.
By the way, Skyy Moore getting some buzz as a running back, right?
Yeah, I mean, has there ever been a more perfect Patriot than Skyy Moore? Like Skyy Moore is going to be a 4th round pick to the New England Patriots. He's going to get 6 receptions and 11 carries in his first season and 40 tackles.
So good.
I will say, wouldn't the most Patriots thing ever? They trade out of number 3. They say, you know what, Jacoby Brissett's going to be our starter. And with like the 16th overall pick, they take Ladd McConkey. And they're like, we found the new Julian Edelman and Wes Welker. I mean, the streets of Foxborough, there will be parades. I mean, just think of the enthusiasm in this great Northeast corridor if they draft Ladd McConkey.
Perfect draft for the Patriots is Ladd McConkey, Bo Nix, and Dylan Laube. I mean, that is that.
That is pretty perfect.
Oh my God. The natty ices will be flowing.
Is there any prospect in this draft who at one point played lacrosse? Because if so, Dylan Laube sounds like a guy who played lacrosse at one point.
I think it's Laube. I find that because we've been someone on one of the pods we did, Davis was like, man, loved what you guys were saying about this guy. I like him too, but I can tell by the way you're pronouncing his name that you've never once watched him.
I mean, that's not really our bit, you know?
That's not fair because you have watched him. It's just there's like Rage Against the Machine music playing.
Yeah,
no one actually pronouncing his name.
Dylan
Exactly.
Laube is not he's not a big enough prospect to have a Just Bombs production highlight reel. So it's just like whatever off-brand University of New Hampshire fan like uploaded his clips.
Exactly. So, and it's funny because you have the highlight bros. You know, you got the music going. And then you got the all 22. You don't hear the name on the all 22 either. So the entire community can't pronounce this guy's name. But I think it's Laube. I went to a highlight reel where they had the announcers.
I don't think I'm going to say that.
Wounded Geese with the alpha.
I don't think I'm gonna say that.
Bub means, guys, 5th in weight adjusted speed. Do with that what you will.
Here's the deal, Chris Diaz. Dylan Laube is not going to be the ship chasing guy because Jalen McMillan is going to be a Bengal or a Chief, and Gretsch is going to be forced to reconsider.
All right, we're getting buried in a wide receiver avalanche.
Yeah, this is why you don't take Kyler, because look at all these scores
right here. You guys wanted to take running backs. Get out of here. You wanted to take Pollard and Jalen Warren.
You grabbed the receiver over Pitts there because you're going to get locked out.
Don't do revisionist history on the running back pick.
All right, well, I'll try. Can I sell you guys on a quarterback here?
We have to take a wide receiver, I think.
I think one of these picks has to be a wide receiver.
I'll take Lockett.
I think Lockett's fine. I think we can take a running back because of this pocket here. And Hawk isn't going to take a running back. Who are you going to sell at?
A quarterback for a team who might be taking a wide receiver at pick number 9.
I don't think Hawk's going to take a quarterback or a running back.
I thought of this, like you know how there's always those awful tweets of like, who's stopping these guys? And it's just, it's a terrible team. But like actually DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Brian Thomas Jr., Cole Kmet, and DeAndre Swift with Caleb Williams, like that's actually a good who's stopping these guys tweet. Like that's an insane offense.
What do you guys think about getting a rookie running back here and then pretty much being done at running back, like a Benson or Brooks?
I like Benson. I've actually gotten quite a bit more bullish on Benson over the last couple of weeks.
If we're gonna do
I don't love it, but it's fine.
Who would you take? I mean,
I would take Caleb.
I think we sit on wide receiver because we do want to do Stafford, and we can push
take Buffalo Bill, Keon Coleman.
Well, we're gonna be ripping some wide receivers with the next picks. All right, here's the team. Kyler at quarterback, H.E.N., Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Trey Benson at running back, Puka, Cooper Kupp, Brian Thomas, Tyler Lockett at wide receiver, and Kyle Pitts at tight end.
This is a really good FFPC boomer logs on to Underdog and does a $100 draft team.
It very much is.
Yeah, I'm sending you an invoce, Davis, because Pat and I were going to draft a really nice team until we got 3 cooks in the kitchen.
The 8-9 James Conner, Tyler Lockett screams guy who has 5-time league champion on FFPC in his bio.
The only thing that would make this team better is if Kyler was Tony Pollard. Then we'd really be cooking, Davis.
Well, yeah, because then we could have done Pollard and any wide receiver. We could have done Pollard, AD Mitchell.
At what point do the go ahead? Sorry.
No, I was gonna 80 Mitchell at 86. That seems a little rich.
It does. At what point with the FFPC number of championships in bio is it actually like a red flag? Because you're saying you're grinding a lot, and it's like 3-time FFPC main event.
I think it's a red flag. I think it's a red flag to put it once because you're basically like, I 3x'd my money over 7 months. It's not.
Dude, maybe the alpha play is you put in parentheses can't fit all of my titles in bio.
Oh yeah,
That's
titles
If you wanted to be serious, you would say multiple time FFPC league champion. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't like. I don't know. If you like play a lot of FFPC leagues, you're gonna win a couple.
If you don't win 1 out of every 4, what are you doing? Because they're not hard leagues to win. Winning the whole thing is hard, but people are so bad on the FFPC.
Winning at 1 out of every 4 main events.
That seems a little high.
You should make that your career because that would be a very profitable endeavor.
No, it would not, Peter. That would be you would have to do like 100 of them a year.
That's what I'm saying. I said you should make it your full-time thing. And
well, obviously, if
you win 1 every 4 in a 12-person league, you are going to be.
I don't know.
It's an infinite money glitch, Davis. If you win 1 out of every 4,
that is grinding your dick.
I'm not saying I want to do it, but if you could, you should. I'm saying it's a lot harder than you think to win 1 out of every 4.
I agree.
Trust us, we've tried.
I mean, that's probably I would have to go look, but I bet 20% is probably my league win rate over the last.
Davis, we've done one every year together, and I've never had to PayPal you money.
Yeah, shocking.
That's one of the That's one of the 3.
Shocking that this combination of guys has been unable to draft a league-winning FFPC main event team.
But
hey, don't let Gretch off the hook here.
Only Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry share in the 2022 FFPC main event.
Don't people and we won Eli Mitchell. Remember, we won Eli Mitchell in week 1 too on that team, and we still didn't win the league.
God. Man, that team was destined for greatness.
By the way, Davis, I found out that Cade Stover in this tight end class
State guy
converted from linebacker.
Oh, shit!
And actually played linebacker in a game where they ran out of linebackers. Like talk about. I mean,
all right, Sion Baki, Braylon Allen, and Cade Stover. Ship it.
Oh man.
Have you guys ever once taken the money from the FFPC league win, or do you just roll it over into extra teams?
Oh, we took it all this year.
Took the money?
Yeah, we took the money.
See, we won 2 out of 4 leagues this year, the group of guys that I do it with, and we just took the teams, so we have 7 teams next year, which is going to be probably annoying to manage.
7
And I'm the only one that does the waivers, really. So
you just said you didn't want to ride your cock off to win 1 out of every 4 of these. You need 1 more, Davis, and you've locked up 2 championships.
Well, I'll do
Which is
one.
What he won last year.
I'll do one with Liam and Kyle, so that'll be 8.
Oh man.
I've had the opposite results. I've never won a league on NFC outside of Silver Bullet. In the prime time, I've never won a league there. So maybe NFC drafters are sharper.
We've had more success on NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys get caught in the running. You guys get buried by the running back avalanche in FFPC. It's the opposite effect.
Okay, so we're gonna need to probably take a quarterback with one of these 2 picks.
Jaden or May.
Stafford?
I don't care.
Are we not?
Yeah. No,
Stafford.
it's Stafford. It's Stafford.
Do you want to grab Shaheed here and get a 5th wide receiver?
Do you want Shaheed or Roman Wilson?
I do not want. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Shaheed's fine.
It's fucking me up. These are Pat's ranks that are in there. Yeah, I'm getting confused versus what this board looks like off my ranks.
Well, yeah, this is the market wants us to take Khalil Shakur, Jahan Dotson, or Quentin Johnston.
See, if I'm being honest, I'm taking Dotson there to do May most of the time. Like I've got like I don't even like Jahan Dotson, but I've got like a crazy amount of him because you can do Dotson May right there.
Do you think they go May or do you think they go Daniels?
Everyone thinks they go Daniels now.
I do not buy this shit at all.
I'm kind of with you, Davis, in that I don't buy it, but it also seems bad to take a player you don't like solely to have a 50% chance at a stack.
You know, it probably is bad, but whatever. I was about to, but imagine how good it is to convert. Like you like combinatorially, how many teams are going to have those guys together? A lot, you think?
I think so, because you're taking them at ADP, right?
If you really want to get deep into it, a lot of the times what I'll do, not a lot of the times, but I have this on out of 70 teams, probably 10 of them is May and Daniels both with Hunter Henry and Zach Ertz. So you're doing it both ways.
Actually, I like it.
Toss in a little Demario Douglas, and now you're really having a good time.
I can't take Demario Douglas because he's right next to Wan'Dale, so I never click Demario.
I will book Demario Douglas versus Jahan Dotson fantasy points with you for next year.
Oh, please.
I think you win that by a lot.
Okay. Well, you're the one drafting Jahan Dotson 3 rounds ahead of Demario Douglas.
All I need is a 2-touchdown game in week 17, buddy.
Oh, God, you are a slippery person to talk to.
Like I said in the chat, accountability is not my thing here. That's not what we're doing.
Oh my
Goodness
God.
gracious. All right. Here's the team. We got Kyler and Matthew Stafford at quarterback. We got Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Trey Benson at running back, Puka and Cooper Kupp, Brian Thomas Jr., Tyler Lockett, Rashid Shaheed, and Kyle fucking Pitts.
So I realized we did make a tactical error here when we were lost at that 8-9 turn. What we should have done is waited and set up Achane and Tua. I think that would have been better than what we did. Than James Conner and Kyler.
To me, like Tua falls into that where it's like, the reason I like taking Kyler is because then you can kind of just push. So say you had Achane, it's like, okay, Tua falls, Kirk falls, Stafford falls. Like kind of just then trying to push it at that second quarterback slot, knowing you're going to be happy with either of them and you have correlation options.
Yeah, I'm afraid of getting locked out at quarterback, but it's like it's later. So I tend not to do that Kyler type of move, and I just end up with a lot. This is how I end up with so much May and Daniel. Like, oh shit, it didn't work out. I ended up with like Stafford,
right now,
Daniels and May or something like that.
Right now, my 4 most drafted quarterbacks: 37% May, 18% JJ McCarthy, 17% Williams, 15% Daniels.
Yeah, I've got May, Stafford, Tua, Richardson, Daniels, Lawrence, Mahomes, Stroud, Caleb, and then everyone's 8% or lower.
I do like you can't do it as much. Like McCarthy in round 20 was a nice little bailout for a while. I know I'm higher on him rookie year fantasy stats than you are, Pat, but I did.
I've come around a little bit. I was pretty low for a while because I was basically pre-combine. I was pretty low because I was like, is this dude 199 and is he going to sit an entire season? And then he weighed in like pretty good. Like, I don't know, what was he, 219 or something? He was like pretty heavy. And then he ran well in the 3-cone. So we're rated ADP now.
I mean, what is his August 13th ADP if the Vikings do this trade to take him and he's throwing to Hawkinson, Jefferson, Addison? Like, it's high or much higher than it is now.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know that he gets into the 14th round. And so it's like you're winning like $1 in an auction draft.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I mean,
13th round sounds about right.
His best season is like not even close to like what Kirk Cousins is going to do for the Falcons this year.
Plus, you also have to think like, you know, is he going to start the whole season? And so at some point you're like, yeah, I'd rather just take these guys who are going to start all year.
If Tannehill was the guy they signed, I would have been concerned. But honestly, I'm pretty familiar with Sam Darnold's work, and I'm not that worried.
I agree.
Can we take?
Should start all year.
Can we stack Michael
Yes.
Wilson here?
Let's do it.
That was nice to. Get that.
Well, actually,
see
I want
it,
to
Davis?
I want to take my guy, but I know it's going to be a tough argument here.
Who's your guy? It might be at the
It's
top
the
of my
guy
ranks.
it's the guy at the top of the ranks.
You know who my guy is.
Well, then, what I'm confused about is you're saying it's going to be a tough sell, but we're looking at my ranks and he's the top player.
I mean, you know this. There's a difference between default rankings that you set for your customers and
not
what you would
supposed to
actually
be.
do. Well, there's
No.
a different team context all the time.
Yeah.
But you want him in this context.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but like Easy's tool, where it's the dynamic adjustments. Yeah, Braylon Allen.
I don't think it's a
No, it's
we'll
good.
be done at running back here, and running back gets very thinned out after this anyway.
We're not going to be done after running back because our 15th round pick is already earmarked, dude.
Who?
Dylan Laube.
No, this is not a Dylan team. I've drafted many Dylan Laube teams. This is not one of them.
Lube. It's rough. It's rough on the ears.
I am asking you on March 25th, Davis, what does Dylan Laube do for this team?
Here's the thing. When I get to this point in every draft, I star 5 guys. I star Dylan Laube, Greg Dortch, Zach Ertz, and Jalen McMillan.
Zach Ertz is an auto star for you? My
Why?
God, dude. Auto star Zach Ertz? What the fuck?
What
Zach
happened?
Ertz is finishing as the 9th highest scoring in half-point PPR, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
I hate how right you are.
They're literally like you are gonna play $4,100 Zach Ertz on DraftKings a minimum of 5
God.
times.
Damn it, I know you're right. That's
No.
no, I saw it, dude.
refuse.
I saw myself clicking.
Davis doesn't even like Zach Ertz. He's doing the Jahan Dotson thing where he just like stacking him.
Do you know who his offensive coordinator is in Washington?
Yes, I'm aware. The man
It's
who
the dude-
funneled
it's the
Logan
dude-
Thomas targets.
It's the dude who who traded for Zach Ertz midseason
yeah.
and made the entire passing offense Kyler to Zach Ertz.
God damn it. Yeah. Not only is this sold me, I'm like, I think I need to move Zach Ertz up in my ranks.
No.
Like he's going after guys who were like literally profiled to not play.
Yeah,
Like
you're
just
right.
like to not even be on the field. He's
sure.
going after Davis Allen, who's like the 9th string tight end on the Rams. The Davis Allen steam.
No, that's not
Relax,
true.
because the chat will get worked up about Davis Allen. I've seen it happen before.
Why are people thinking Davis Allen is going to be an NFL player who plays? Or have they not learned Bryson Hopkins?
Because he played last year.
He played last year out of like sheer desperation because Hopkins was hurt.
Bryson Hopkins was hurt.
Yes, he was designated for return IR. He came back. He was like not with the team.
He was kind of fun, Davis Allen.
The reason people like Davis Allen is because he's not Tyler Higbee. That's his
right.
number one selling point.
That's
And are people
100%
aware
true.
that they also signed Colby Parkinson in unrestricted free
Oh,
agency?
they're aware.
It was like day
They'll let
2
you
of
know.
free agency.
The chat will let you know about Colby Parkinson.
I thought this was a bit that people were into Davis Allen, and I'm realizing it's not a bit, that people are serious about it.
No, it's very serious.
The big thing is tight end dries up completely, which is partly why I'm
I think
easily
it
swayed by your Zach
after
Ertz propaganda.
I think after Meyer it goes to 0. I think after Meyer every guy is the same.
Well, Meyer's off the board, and we don't have a tight end too.
Yeah.
The tight ends, it gets gross.
Like
For
I'm logging on and I'm drafting Juwan Johnson in all earnesty, but then I can't possibly imagine round 19 Zach Ertz. Like these are unserious people.
I've got no pushback on the Zach Ertz thing. It's happening.
There are a lot of good wide receivers here. I mean, this is wide receiver's deep, dude. Wide receiver is deep, brother.
This is why you take Josh Jacobs in the 4th, Davis, because it's deep.
Wide receivers deep. Classic Pete bit. All right, let's do the 2v2. It's round 3, Keenan Allen, and round 15, Wan'Dale Robinson versus whatever, Tyler Algier and Josh Jacobs.
You're taking the
Which side would you
Wan'Dale
rather
Robinson
have?
side every time,
I'm
aren't you?
taking the Wan'Dale.
Yeah, it's strange how you set that up with 2 guys you wanted in the first place.
No, I actually think that the way this planned out, the Jacobs pick was fine. The mistake was Kyler.
No, get out of here. The Kyler pick was
I think
fine.
the mistake was Pitts. Where did I draft?
You're gonna be recanting those words when we win the biggest board. We're gonna have the clip, and you're gonna be like, the mistake was Pitts. Actually, the real mistake is gonna be when Zach Ertz is our counting tight end points 11. Out of
I'm
the
not
17
starring
weeks.
Zach Ertz. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not getting out ahead of the star.
I think we're about to have
You
a battle here.
Do you guys have any serious thoughts? Yeah, Wan'Dale.
I think we should take Ja'Tavion Sanders. Although this guy's 2 tight ends, so if we're gonna take both, then we should probably grab
can
Wan'Dale first.
yeah we can wait.
I'm fine with Wan'Dale.
Wan'Dale, Corley, Hyatt. I think
Wait,
we're
do
all
you-
good here.
I think I might prefer Hyatt to Wan'Dale. Is that crazy?
I definitely don't, but I'm not gonna shame it.
Pat, obviously you like
I
Wan'Dale.
don't. Yeah, I prefer Wan'Dale, but it's fine if you want to go ahead.
No, that's fine. I'm just
People-
a recovering
people
Wan'Dale
forget-
drafter.
People forget that Wan'Dale was the 10th highest scoring wide receiver and 0.5 PPR scoring in Week 17 last year.
I do forget that.
People do forget that
I
he
did
counted for
forget
my
that. That's-
people do forget that he was a counting score on my Puppy 4 finals team. They're very quick to forget. Yeah,
This
Sanders.
Pat, you
Good.
talk about Sanders. I haven't clicked him much.
Sanders is a athletic tight end who is a receiver. He was at Texas. There was maybe potentially a little bit of cannibalization there with, they had AD Mitchell, they had Xavier Worthy. He wasn't like a huge part of what they were doing, but he also wasn't like an afterthought. And the entire way throughout the draft season, he's just been sort of locked into second round draft capital. I shouldn't say locked, but like penciled in for second round draft capital the entire way. It hasn't shifted at all. I think pretty clearly based on, the evaluations as well, the number 2 tight end in this class, and no one's really that into him. So you're kind of getting that, like a similar bet to the tight ends we liked last year coming in, without much of the fanfare.
like a super. He might have the same draft capital as one of these guys we loved last year. Like he might
Exactly.
go pick 41 or whatever, but we were taking those guys in the 11th round.
Exactly.
And he played with 2 NFL wide receivers and like meaningfully cut into their target share, especially last year.
Yeah, and I think his change of direction is supposed to be pretty good. He was a fairly productive receiver, not amazing, not off the charts, but you're getting athleticism, traditional tight end, should start right away. Draft capital's looking good, so it's a
Where's
little
he
like
projected to go in the draft?
second round.
Yeah,
Okay.
like pick 50.
Yeah, and pretty consistently, like when you see, top 75 or something, he'll like consistently be at like, around 50. So I'm not like worried about him sliding.
He had 10 fewer receptions than consensus first round pick, AD Mitchell.
Yeah. This is a good question. What are some of the fits that you'd like for him?
Great fit Patriots, obviously.
I mean,
Tampa Bay targets would be there immediately. Like Kate Otten is just a 0. I'm just thinking of teams in terms where he could start, like Dallas. Ferguson's.
I
just
think
like
Ferguson's good.
To me, I just feel like he's the same thing that they've had at tight end for the last decade, just like a very average style guy.
Seattle would be someone interesting. They have Fant, but they
Really?
Bengals
just
in
get
round 2 if
buried?
they don't take Bowers.
I mean,
yeah,
the
maybe
whole reason-
Bengals are the dream. I didn't even want to say the Bengals because they're
Yeah.
the
I mean,
easy
I think
one.
I mentioned this for Bowers, but Chargers and Jets, if they don't pull the trigger there, second round.
You mean we're tight end 24, Tyler Conklin going 6 positional spots ahead of ADP if Zach Ertz is going?
Yes, I don't think Tyler Conklin would be a massive roadblock, is what I'm saying.
I love that Tyler Conklin has been Josh to the people for like the last 2 years, always like the number 3 points per dollar tight end value on any projection.
To be fair, we've never seen him play a full season with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm back, baby.
Jets would be fun for Sanders. I would get excited about that.
Yeah, it would be. I saw an unironic take. I don't remember if it was in chat or on Twitter or something about Mike Williams being he's going to outproduce both the Texas wide receivers next year in fantasy football.
I'd like to get some money down. Oppo that. Davis, is this Malachi Corley thing? Does this ADP solely exist from you saying he's our generation's Deebo Samuel? Is that the only explanation?
Well, I'm not even the one who came up with that. It's pretty obvious when you watch him. He's just like a bowling ball who gets like half his production on screens. It's like immediately who you think of. But I mean, people are like NFL teams like him. He's gonna go high enough to justify this. Like he's gonna go
third
60,
round.
Yeah, I mean, I would not even be surprised to see a team take it. Well, second would maybe be a bit of a surprise. He's going to be a third-round pick.
I think he's a third-round pick, too. I've really struggled to get excited about Corley, though. Reeves' rant on your pod was amazing. I enjoyed it deeply.
Yeah, I mean, he just is kind of like the final evolution of a Wan'Dale Robinson-style player, which, you know.
Yeah, although isn't Wan'Dale the final evolution of that player? Like, Wan'Dale's actually pretty solid. Because that evolution of that player includes the guys Reeves was talking about, like Amari Rodgers. Some of these dudes are just.
We just like Wan'Dale. It's full of excuses, right? With the ACL and all that stuff. But like the one thing you have with Wan'Dale is when he has been on the NFL field, his targets per route run has been like insane, like unbelievable.
He can get open as a wide receiver. Now those are the ADOT on those routes is very shallow, but like
shallow.
He does get open. You don't have to manufacture everything for Wan'Dale.
I do think I'm on board with the Dortch.
Yeah, let's just take Dortch now.
Oh, is he gone? Who did it?
God,
one pick ahead, literally one pick. That's just cruel. That makes
McMillan.
He's gone too. He just went.
Laube.
No, we don't need Laube.
We don't need him.
Rondale.
He's gone. I'm taking Jamari Thrash because there's just.
All right, this is not fun anymore.
the Greg Dortch pick, 15 picks ahead of ADP unstacked is just such a.
I've never seen this few rookies at the end. I mean, we have so many rounds left.
We have 3 more picks.
Just take Zach Ertz, dude. Get that third tight end.
Yeah,
we ran out of clicks.
Ertz or Laube.
I think Ertz makes more sense for the build.
He gets traded back to the Cardinals mid-season.
This is I hate this.
It's kind of been the theme. It's kind of been the theme of the stream, Peter.
I love.
It honestly makes a lot of sense with the rookie tight end too, and then you get Ertz. It's like,
what does Zach Ertz do for this team other than make Davis happy?
It may advance it, to be honest.
How many times have you taken Zach Ertz without a Fugazi stack with him, Davis?
A lot.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to test your conviction.
Here's my tight end exposure. 26% of Mayer and Pitts, 24% Tucker Kraft, 21% Trey McBride, 20% Zach Ertz.
That's unreal. And what's so cruel about this, Davis, is when you actually like my investment in Zach Ertz, like this is the equivalent of taking Zach Ertz in 10 of my big board drafts. And that just makes me so angry because I would never do that.
So on October 7th, when Zach Ertz has ripped off his straight consecutive 7 for 47 game and you're getting 9.6 PPR points.
I'm not worried about October 7th. Tell me the story about January 6th, Davis.
But Zach Ertz will not be there. He will be nursing an MCL injury or whatever.
And Kyle Pitts will be, 40 yards away from a 2,000-yard season.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts will be the closer. Correct.
My biggest boomer take, as you mentioned, McBride, is that we should just be drafting the tight ends who we already know are good and not chasing this young tight. Instead of drafting Mark Andrews, who I would like, is Jonathan Gannon's random ass tight end who we didn't even draft last year. That seems like a much better pick to me than Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Trey McBride is good. Come on.
He had a good year. He had a good half a year.
Well,
You're out on Trey McBride, Pat?
No, I'm not out, but like we have an opportunity to draft.
Andrews is a better pick.
We have an opportunity to draft Mark Andrews at the 4th round or even 5th round, and we're taking Trey McBride. Like, which of these is the generational opportunity here? It's Mark Andrews.
I should be clear. I did a bunch of drafts like the week the contest opened, which is why I have 20% McBride. I'm not taking him at every time at this cost.
Yeah,
They're both fine, but I think so. Where do you think Mark Andrews should be going? You think he should be going ahead of Travis Kelce?
No, because Travis Kelce should be.
So you think all the tight ends should be way higher? Kelce
and Andrews should both be much more expensive.
Okay,
Kelce
all right.
is part of this.
We gotta call this out from chat. We have a Mark Andrews is old statement. He's 28. He's 28 years old. Come on.
You guys want to see? Look up Zach Ertz while you're at it.
He's 31. He's 31.
People are getting bored with like a truly elite tight end, a guy who plays a different position than everyone else in this league. And people are like, I've drafted him. He didn't do that well last year.
Kelce,
he was like, you had to have him to advance 2 years ago, but that was 2 years ago. So who cares? I guess that was actually 3 years ago now.
I like both of them, but I don't think Andrews separates or should be separating from McBride in a big way.
I do. I think just there's so many times we've gotten fooled by the next breakout tight end. And it's like, dude, if you're going to give me that guy at the same price as a guy who
McBride has already
one of the best resumes.
McBride has already broken out.
What do you think is fool's gold about what McBride did down the stretch line?
They didn't have anybody else, and they're going to add the best wide receiver prospect since at least Jamar Chase.
He also did it with multiple quarterbacks, multiple different versions of that offense.
I don't think he's bad. I just think he shouldn't go near Mark Andrews.
Now, can I interest you in the fact that he was a 3-star recruit as a basketball player in high school? So Trey McBride did used to play basketball.
Trey McBride, was that what he was doing when he didn't pass Zach Ertz on the depth chart as a rookie? Was he out there?
Come on, can we really shame someone for not passing Zach Ertz on the depth chart? I mean, come
on. Do we have another deep wide receiver we like here?
Okay, this guy, I'm tilting. Yeah, I like Jerry Rice's kid. Is he going? No, I like Jerry Rice's kid.
Brendan?
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy who just through sheer nepotism is going to get a chance to play as a rookie? It's definitely Jerry Rice's kid. Here's a good one.
Davis, have you floated the take arbitrage Marvin Harrison Jr. If you're
no, but I'm about to float a similar take. What would his ADP be if his name was Jerry Rice Jr. instead of Brendan?
Higher.
That's a good take.
Higher because his draft stock would also be higher.
You guys want to know who my 20th round running back is? You ready to vomit?
Let's do it.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No, not.
No. Who's a real pick?
I don't care. Isaiah Davis. Evan Hull's fine too.
Oh no, I'm not going to get this in time. Did I get it?
Oh yeah, Pete.
Close. That was close. All right, this team is in the books. Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford, very controversial quarterback room where none of us liked any of the picks collectively. Running back Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Trey Benson, Braylon Allen, Evan Hull. Actually, very good running back room.
Yeah, pretty good running back room.
Wide receivers, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Brian Thomas Jr., Tyler Lockett, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jamari Thrash, and Jerry Rice Jr. Tight ends, Kyle Pitts, Ja'Tavion Sanders, and fucking redacted Zach Ertz.
I think we made it work. I actually think this team's kind of good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Oh my goodness. Well, that was fun. Davis, we are going to be doing the take cast tomorrow, correct?
We are. Yeah. I just I was horny for a biggest board. So
clearly. Yeah. No, it was great having you. So you guys can keep an eye out for that. I'll have the video. Davis will have the audio. We'll get that posted sometime like Tuesday or Wednesday. Pat, What do you got going? New article about quarterbacks just dropped.
New article about quarterbacks just dropped. I'm working on my running backs next. And yeah, doing a podcast with Herzig later on our differences between the ETR and leg up ranks. We're going to debate some of those. So that should be good. Recording that later today. And yeah, best ball rankings updating every day. Dynasty rankings should have updated this morning, I believe. Or if not, we're getting those up later today. So yeah, check out legendaryupside.com.
Awesome. Also, make sure you check out the video on the Deposit Kingdom channel. We got the big board tips video dropped on Thursday. I got that pinned in the chat. Going to be doing regular videos over there. So make sure you are subscribed. And as I mentioned earlier, this week, I'm going to make one looking at dream wide receiver landing spots and predicting ADPs if they go there. Help me with some fun ideas. Leave them in the comments. Which, round 1, round 2 wide receivers, where would you like to see them go? And maybe they will make their way into the video. Appreciate you guys hanging out here on Best Ball Breakfast. We'll see you guys around, and of course next week.